Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Hey, Vinesha is the first one in, so welcome. Vinesha, the link is there. Click on the link, join up. Suki as well. I don't think Suki's joined up yet, so the link is there. Hey, Godwin, doing great. I'm doing great. No, I have no trades today since so far, but still looking forward to it. Alex said, analyzed close of trading reports, waiting for setups, close gold and US dollar trades, great month. It's pretty much the start. Well, it feels like the start of the month. It's early in the month. Looking forward to the market recap. Good, good. Doing well for this month so far as well. Market has not been trading, has not much trading buyers. That's right, not much trading buyers there. It's been super choppy. Just be careful. All right. Hey Ayakame, good morning. How are you doing? Kavindu, how are you doing? I can't remember your username. Suki, just sign up for another account. Just sign up for another account. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes before we get started. In the meantime, if you're watching on YouTube or on TradingView, drop a message, say hi. Aussie yen has been good. Yes, it has. I was focusing more on the dollar yen and the pound yen. Can't, too many things to look at already. So marvelous. Choppy is the right word. It is. One moment to the upside, next moment back down again, and then after that back up. It's super choppy. No clear directional buyers. We might see a change in conditions from tonight. So fingers crossed. Let's look forward to that. Anybody knows what's happening tonight? Anyone wants to put it into the chat? Just see whether you're in tune with what's on the markets. So what's happening tonight? BL says my screen is lagging. Is it lagging for anyone else? Is it just BL or is it me? Robbie got it right. CPI, right? US CPI to be more specific. Good job, Robbie. No prize, no rewards yet. That was an easy one. Hey, Spiros. Hey, Bill. I can't see any lag. No, all good on my screen. Okay, great. Good, good. So BL might need to refresh. You guys know me and tech. It's terrible. I only just figured out how to send a Discord link that doesn't expire. So, hey, Angel Case, how you doing? FOMC meeting minutes as well. Is it the meeting or the meeting minutes? I think it's the meeting minutes. Nick has just joined onto Discord, so good job, Nick. Alrighty, one more minute and we shall go. Bao is here. I went long on the Euro Aussie this morning, didn't do too well. We'll have a look at the Euro Aussie later. I'm not one of the pairs that I pay a lot of attention to, so we'll do a quick review of that later on. And Suki's here as well into the Discord group. Very well done. Okay, so let's get started. So again, thank you all for attending the daily market analysis. It will soon be called something else. I'm just trying to think of a nicer name to this. This sounds too boring already. We do this every day, Monday to Fridays, at 3 p.m. GMT plus 8. Basically, it's to give you a plan for the day. To give you a plan for the day just to share with you my thoughts, views, ideas of the market, where I think prices could head towards based on the fundamentals. So we'll do a quick review of what has happened recently, yesterday, which is actually not much from memory. And then we'll look into the fundamentals coming up, which for today is the Bank of Canada's interest rate decision and also the CPI or the inflationary data from the US. Together with the technicals, we look at where price is, how it's responding to different levels. Combining that, we look for possible trade setups. ideally with good risk to reward ratios, high likelihood levels, or high likelihood trade setups. Okay, so if you are new to the session, please drop a message and say hi. Let me know where you're joining from. And if you haven't already on YouTube, the link is there. I'll put it up again. The Discord server, room, channel, group link is there. Do click on it to join. It's absolutely free to join. If you're on TradingView, the link is as a signature to all the posts, so you can find the link there as well. Okay. At any point in time, if you do have a question, a trading related question, please feel free to put it into the chats either on YouTube or on TradingView. I'll be happy to address your question, to repeat, or to explain further. Hey, I'm Miko. How are you doing? Hi, Nick. Good to have you here. And also, like Suki just said, please remember, click that thumbs up button, click that rocket ship button. Do help me out with the algorithm. I don't know how it works, but if you click on it, it doesn't hurt, and it might get us more exposure, might get us more views, helps to build the trading community. All right, so do that. And it is a competition between TradingView and YouTube. Let's see who gets more rocket ships or likes. Okay, so with that said, a quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. And please remember that the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. I do look at many different currency pairs. I do identify levels that I would like to get into a trade, my stop loss levels, my take profit levels. It might not fit with your own trading strategy, your own trading approach. So do your own due diligence. Don't jump into all the trades because you're definitely going to be over leveraged, risking on too much. At any point in time, your maximum risk, total exposure, risk exposure should not be more than 2%. Okay, so just make sure you keep that in mind. Bao, the rocket ship is on TradingView. It's on TradingView, and the thumbs up button is on YouTube. So thanks for looking for that rocket ship, but click that thumbs up button. Hey Chiwan, how are you doing? Hey, our money and fast trade man. I'm guessing fast trade man likes to scalp. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so let's keep going. So let's look at Forex Factory first, right? Forex Factory first. Yesterday, no big news, right? We were sharing in the group, the IMF meetings were looking to talk about, the markets, but it didn't have too relevant an impact on the markets or in terms of pricing. So the main focus for today, right? I didn't have any trades. Usually, I would have a trade or two in the lead up to this session. I would have closed out before, but prices were, as we said, choppy, moving around, no clear directions. We did see yen and the pound yen and the Aussie yen climb to the upside, but it was, how do I say, it was a very high level. It was climbing steadily, but I was looking at key levels, waiting for it to break or to react to those levels first. So no trades for me so far. I'm probably saving the bullets for tonight at 8:30 GMT plus 8, where we do have the US with their CPI month to month, looking to go from a 0.4% to a 0.2%. So month to month CPI, which is an inflationary data, looking to drop slightly or to slow down to a 0.2%. Year on year, CPI for the US is looking to go from a 6 to a 5.1. From memory, yesterday when we were talking about this, the forecast was 5.2. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Do anyone remember? It was 5.2 yesterday. Today it's 5.1. So they're looking at even slower inflationary growth. And if we look at what has happened before, where was it? On February 14th, it went from 6.5, expected 6.2, went from 6.4, so it's a small slowdown. And most recently, in March 14th, it went from 6.4 to 6, right? So this increases the market commentary that inflation in the US has definitely peaked. It's on the downturn already. Okay, so because of that, if this does get released, I think yesterday I was saying, I was anticipating 5.15 or 5.0. I still think that it could be that 5% number. So if CPI data year on year for the US comes out at 5, forecast was 5.1, previous was 6, this could signal to the Fed Reserve that inflation is slowing down, right? Inflation growth is slowing down. We're going to see possibly the Fed talking about not increasing rates, or markets are going to anticipate that the Feds are going to slow down or pause on their rate hikes coming up. And then also that on Friday we saw good employment numbers in the US, so that gives a little bit more stability to the markets, right? So if inflation does slow down as expected, or does slow down to the scale that we expect or the market expects, we might see the dollar weaken. Right? It's a bit of a, doesn't make sense kind of number or analysis, but if inflation does slow down, the likelihood for the Feds to keep raising rates is going to drop. As interest rate hikes, the likelihood of interest rate hike decreases, we could see the Feds slow down on rate hikes. We could see the dollar weaken slightly as well. Okay, BL did saying here that they're expecting core CPI to be higher than overall CPI, meaning that CPI is sticky. Core CPI could be, so I'll just show you here. Right, this is the core CPI month to month. Looking month to month, looking to go from a 0.5 to a 0.4. This excludes food and energy, right? Remember that we were talking about energy or OPEC cutting production levels that caused a big spike in prices. The thing is, this CPI data that we're looking at is released 16 days after the month ends. So we're looking at the previous month's energy prices, or this one excludes, but the CPI number here, we're looking at the previous month's energy prices and market conditions. So with that, I think that although CPI could be sticky, right? I do think that we might see some relief in terms of CPI growth, but we'll also consider the possibility of, if this CPI and core CPI number comes out stronger than expected. Okay, so through today's session, what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at possibility of a slowdown on inflation numbers, and then possibility of a upset or faster than expected CPI growth. So we'll go through that as we look into the charts later. Then the other big news item at 10 p.m. today, GMT plus 8, is the Bank of Canada with their interest rate decision as well. Okay, Bank of Canada looking to hold interest rates at 4.5%. I think that with the possibly big fireworks coming out at 8:30, this might be a subdued news event, right? So I don't think that, especially if the Bank of Canada does hold at 4.5%, I don't think that we're going to see this news event cause prices to move too much, but it's going to be moving in relation as well, or in combination to the US CPI number. Okay, so we'll look at that later on. Bank of Canada press conference, and then on to later tonight or early tomorrow morning for me, 2 a.m., the US FOMC meeting minutes. Typically not a big price mover, because we've already known what they have done. This is just a view of how they arrived at that decision. Unless we see a bit of a surprise there in terms of the meeting minutes where they might say that, they're going to continue increasing rates, or there was members who violently objected further rate increases. I think that this will be slightly of a non-event. If you're not used to trading this news event, I would say don't expect too much for the meeting minutes. And then through to tomorrow morning for me, 9:30 a.m. GMT plus 8, we do have the Aussie with the employment numbers. Unemployment rate for the Aussies looking to go from a 3.5 to a 3.6. A little bit of a surprise there, so expecting unemployment rates to climb and employment change number to go from 64.6K to a 20.8. So it looks like maybe slightly weaker employment numbers, slightly weaker employment conditions in Australia as an overall, which might see some weakness being applied onto the Aussie dollar. All right, so that's the news all the way to tomorrow. We do have the pound GDP. Again, I think the focus right now is more on the CPI, so I'm not too concerned about the GDP. And I'll tell you more about the PPI numbers tomorrow during our session at 3 p.m. With that said, I feel I've spoken so much. With that said, let's look at the charts. Any questions so far? Hey, Goju, how are you doing? All right, so we do have our summary sheet here. Today is the 12th of April. Okay, so we were talking about this yesterday. We were saying that, with the dollar, as it broke that trend line, I was expecting it to come down towards that 102 level in the lead up to the news event tonight. I think that we're likely to see it continue trading along this range, along this 102 level, right? With no clear directions yet, all the way to the news event, where we're looking at possibly interest or inflation numbers slowing down, the likelihood of further rate increases slowing down, which means that we could see it break, or we would be looking for it to break 102 and possibly trade down to 101.60. Okay, so I'll move this slightly. No, move it too much. So about there. Okay, so looking for it to consolidate along this support level. Then if it breaks below 102, I think a sustained break would be if price closes or breaks below 101.90, then we could see the, hang on, why does this keep hiding? Okay, never mind. Then we could see the dollar index trade down to that 101.60 level. So dollar index could trade break 102 to trade down to 101.60, depends on CPI. Yazli, I will do gold shortly, so we'll go through a couple of the currency pairs first, and then we'll get to gold. If on the flip side, we don't see a slowdown in inflation, increasing the need for the Fed Reserve to hike rates, then it could bounce off this 102 level. But at any bounce off, I would say that we might see a quick reversal back down. So I'm still looking for that downside potential on the dollar index. Okay. So now looking at the charts, coming down to the charts on the currency pairs, this is the Kiwi dollar on the H1 time frame. Yesterday we were talking about it possibly trading up, hitting that trend line, coming back down. That didn't happen. It did break down. All right, I'll zoom in a bit. It did break down before bouncing back up. Hasn't found any clear directions. It's choppy, like we were saying. So it's still trading along this range. Let me just take these away for now. Okay, it's still trading within this range with the big support level at 0.6150. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is that it might sit across if the dollar index does weaken with the news, then we could see the Kiwi dollar. Let me just remove some of these circles. I've got too many circles all over the place. I'm looking at this as a possibility. Okay, I'll tell you what I like, what I see, and possibly what I like. Okay. I know there's a faster way to do this, but let me just do that and get rid of those lines. Okay. With the Kiwi dollar, I would say that I wouldn't, it's been dropping since the 5th of April last week, coming down from a high of 0.6380, now currently at 0.6191 or 0.6191. I wouldn't be looking to buy it up because we do have that diagonal trend line down, that short-term diagonal. And then if we look at the longer-term one, it's holding that level there. So I wouldn't be looking to buy it up. So if it's dollar weakness, possibly not going to focus on the Kiwi dollar. Okay, let me just see what can we do here. Okay, I would say that in any case, we have that recent high there at 6230 or 6231. I would be looking for the Kiwi dollar to trade down. Okay, so near-term level here. You could be looking, this is going to be a very small trade, I'd say. It's a 20-something pip move, so it's not worth doing that. Okay, this is what you could do on the Kiwi dollar. With a big key support level at 0.6090, right? And a safer entry level, take that away, a safer entry level at 6170. Okay, what I would be looking for in this case is if the dollar doesn't weaken, right? If we see a stronger dollar, we could see this trade down. All right, so I'll be looking at the Kiwi dollar here. I'll put this here and say maybe stronger DXY, right, from the CPI news. We could be looking to sell this down below 0.6170. Take profit, maybe 60, 70 pips. Stop loss, about 25 pips, 20 to 25 pips. Okay, so you do have a bit of time before getting into this trade. You don't have to rush in. So we're looking at 6161 with a 70 pip take profit at 25 pips stop loss. So we're looking at 6161 with a stop loss of 25, a TP of 70. Okay, so that's the view if we do see a stronger dollar from the CPI. CPI upsets the market's expectation, and we could see this push down. Robbie is happy. He says same view with the Kiwi dollar. Fantastic. Yong Ziho says, is recession coming and the inevitable? Would that kill the dollar and push other currencies stronger against the dollar? Hey, I think that recession could be on the way, right? Recession could be on the way, but it depends on what kind of trading time frame you adopt. With the way we're looking at this on a daily basis, it's possibly not going to be affecting us too much. If you're more of a swing or position trader or I know the guy there. If you're trading onto options and stocks, then I would say that maybe for the longer term, that's a view to be concerned about. So I would say, how do we know whether recession is coming around? What are the signals? You'll be looking at the GDP number for the US, you'll be looking at employment numbers, you'll be looking at whether this interest rate is going to keep hiking or not. And this, what we have tonight and the coming news, is going to give us an indication. So it's coming, it's most likely going to come, it's most likely inevitable, but what time frame or how soon, not sure. Will that kill the dollar? Dollar is already slowly being killed, so it's part and parcel of it, isn't it? Okay, so with that said about the Kiwi dollar, and a very good question there about the recession, the Aussie dollar. So I was super excited about this on the Aussie dollar. I was looking for it. We're talking about this breaking above that resistance level, breaking above the trend line. I thought we are going to see a big push to the upside. It didn't trigger. It came close, didn't trigger. Get rid of that. What you notice here now is that we have bit of most recently that double top at about that 0.6680 level, right? A failure to break above 0.6680, in fact, a triple top there. And now it looks like it's pushing to the downside, right? It looks like it's pushing to the downside. So again, I think that we could see this trade down, especially with the US, with the Aussie employment numbers tomorrow, right? Remember, we were anticipating some weaker numbers on the Aussie tomorrow for employment. So we could see that push to the downside. What I would like to see, so it's right in the middle, and this 0.6625 level is very strong. We've seen it bounce strongly twice already. Beyond that, the next key support is at 6567. Okay, so I would say that look to trade it down. I'm looking to trade this down again in the event of that stronger dollar. If it's a weaker dollar, this could push up. I would not trade that. I would have other pairs to trade. Again, in a stronger dollar view for double top, coming close to breaking that neckline as well, right? You could look to sell it down. Again, to be safer, similar to the Kiwi dollar, I would say I would only sell down below 6620. So below 6620, 6615, my take profit would be about 40, almost 50 pips. My stop loss can be very tight here at about 20 pips, breaking that support level to the next key support. All right. Okay. So also, if you can, put it into the chat. Let me know which pairs do you like trading the most. Okay. Because I do know that some of you trade different cross pairs. So 6615, 20 pips to 50 pips. 6615, stop loss, 20, take profit. What was it? 40, 50 pips. What do you think, Robbie? Did we get the same view on the Aussie dollar? We got the same view on the Kiwi. Did we get the same one on Aussie? Okay. Next up, US yen. Okay, so US yen did almost exactly what we expected. We were looking for it to come down, test the support, bounce around that 133 level for that 23.6% fib level to bounce off to trade up to the recent high, yesterday's high of 133.80. It did that. It didn't close above our entry point, so we didn't manage to get into a trade. All right, so I'll take that away. Okay, one question I received this question from two separate people last night was, do we get into a trade during the candle as it moves, or do we get into wait for a candle to close before getting into a trade? The short answer is, for my approach, I do like to wait for the candle to close before getting into a trade, just so that I know whether it's going to be, a strong push up, or whether it's going to form a slight pin bar and signal some downside potential. But I am working on a quick video for you guys. I will share it up into the Discord channel, once it's done. You guys, a bit more detail there, so you can get that info. All right. Cool. Robbie is same on the Aussie dollar as well. Okay, so with the US yen, looking, if we do see a, did I put that in the Aussie? Hang on, I'll put that there. And Aussie is actually dropping, so that could come quite soon. Stronger DXY. All right. With the US yen, we were sitting in the office, team of traders here sitting in the office. We were thinking about this. I was saying, hey, if the yen does, or if the dollar index does trade significantly to the downside here, then we could see the US yen resist that upward move, similar to what happened here on the 3rd of April, right? Hit that level and then have a big trade to the downside. Similar here, forming that double top or triple top formation. We could see a big correction back down. Okay, and that's if we see a weaker dollar because of that reduced risk or reduced likelihood of further interest rate hikes. So I would say that if we see a weaker DXY, okay, I would be looking for this to break down below 1.33, right? I wouldn't rush into a trade. I'll see it break below 1.133, not 1.33, 133, and then we could see a rather significant drop down. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So about 132.80, stop loss maybe 30, 40 pips. Take profit, you could go all the way down, which is a good 200 pips. I would say a reasonable level could also be at that 61.8 level. Okay, so what you could be looking at is a possible hesitation at 61.8. With a big, it's not going to happen straight away. You can see that it resisted, came down, bounced a bit, and then went down. So I'm looking at a possible hesitation at 131.85 or about that 132 level. This is a possibility on a weaker dollar, but you know me, I like following the trend. So I would actually prefer to see, again, in a similar move, possibly consolidate at this level. If the dollar does weaken, I want to see this drop, test this level, and then bounce back up again. This would be my preferred view. All right, in terms of a trade, this would be my preferred kind of trade, for it to come down, bounce, and trade up, following that recent trend to the upside. I would look at a trade at about 133.30. Take profit a good 150. Stop loss, you could even do a 50 pip, a 1-3 to the upside. So it depends. If you like to do a counter trend, if you'll be happy to take on that risk of a counter trend, we could see this trade down. I would like to see a trend following scenario, so I'll be looking for a bounce off the 133 support level, similar to what happened, and trade up to that 135. Mabaso says, I'm currently in a US yen buy. Should I hold? Man, I hate giving trade advice. I would say that, are you making money, Mabaso? It all depends. Are you making money? Okay, Bill also says, Jin, I see on the Forex meter the strongest is Euro. Would that be the better choice to trade if US CPI is lower? Yep, I will get to the Euro after this. Mabaso, are you in profit on the US yen? Let's see. Yes, okay, he got in yesterday. Hey, if you are in, I would either move it to, I don't know, I think you had it at break even. I think you put it into the chat yesterday. You had it at break even. I would take some profit on it. If you, depending on your trade size, I would take some profit on it, um, and then let the other little bit run. But if it were me sitting on that trade, I would have closed off. How about that? I took a whole roundabout answer, but I'll come down to it. If it were me, I'll close off the trade. With the news coming out in a couple of hours' time, I'll be looking for a re-entry after that. Hey, Carl, how are you doing? Okay, so hope I answered your question there for Maboso. Oh wait, US yen. We'll say that the US yen has that upside and downside potential, up and downside potential. Check chart. All right, I'll post the chart up as well. What I realize is I'll start posting all these charts that we discussed as well. Okay. Pound dollar. So the pound dollar traded up, triggered our trade, came back down, and then bounced back up again. Don't know whether you got into the trade there. We're seeing super choppy price action. And what you see now is it looks like we're going to see some downward push on the pound dollar. Okay, so what you notice here is that it looks like everything, right? Aussie Kiwi dollar trading down, looking like some downside potential. Aussie dollar trading right across, might trade down. US yen is the one that's a bit fair. We might see both upside or downside potential. Pound dollar currently looking like it's pushing down. What we could be looking for, just because of the recent move, is if we do see that dollar weakness come into play, we could see this push up. Okay, we might see this push up. So trade down to that 1.24 support level and then bounce back up. All right, I'll take this away because it's broken already. Why I think that, just with the current price action, we might see this trade down. But in terms of if we see dollar weakness, we might see this push up. Take that away for now, or rather update it and put it there. So what you could be looking for on the pound dollar, on dollar weakness, a bounce off 1.24, a take profit about 40 pips, a stop loss about 15 to 20, even if you're at 20 pip, you could see that move. You could even go all the way up to 20 to 100 pips and then have a consideration at 1.2460, 1.2455 or 1.2460 as a consideration area. M Leader said, I went in pound dollar. I remember that, got away with 10 pips, then lost 15, so walked away. Too choppy. Super choppy right now. Yeah, so, I'm looking for this to come down, test. It might not just test, it might actually break a little bit before, okay, I'll take that away. So it might not just hit the level, it might come down, test, and then go back up that level. Okay, so 1.2410, 20 pips to 100 pips. Buy above 1.2410. Stop loss 20. Take profit 100. Okay. Right, and you can see the choppiness, right? Just the dollar index since this morning. What's this news here? Dollar could turn higher after dollar inflation. Okay, that's interesting. It's bounced off, came down, now looks like it's bouncing up. Very choppy price action. Pound dollar is in downtrend for now. Slightly, right? It's got that big downward move. Since Tuesday, we saw a big strong push. Might see this turn down, and if it does turn down and bounce up, then you see a bit of a double bottom again at that level. So I'm looking for it to push up. Okay, cool. Then the euro pound, okay, euro dollar again found that resistance, right? So everything is climbing, hitting a level, retracing back down, or it's just consolidating. It's not, don't rush into any trades between now till the news event because we haven't seen that clear directional push or directional buyers yet. What we might see, hey Moonkey83, how are you doing? So what I'm looking for here, if this dollar index does continue to push up or consolidate around this level, the euro dollar could form that double top and trade slightly lower. All right, so Bill was asking about this. It could consolidate, fail, and then fail to break higher and trade down. But what I would like to see on the euro dollar in particular is that move supporting, pushing it up. Okay, supporting and pushing it up. So it might have some downward move, but I'll be looking for the euro dollar to possibly trade up. So 1.0940, 20, almost 30 pip take profit, very tight 15 pip stop loss, a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside. Okay, just look. Why I'm looking at this is because on the Kiwi dollar, stronger dollar index will sell it down. On the Aussie, stronger dollar index will sell it down. US yen, we've got both upside downside potential. Pound dollar, what we're looking for here is we see a weaker DXY. We could look to trade this up. The euro dollar, again, we're looking at this as a possibly weaker DXY, and we could see this trade up. All right. Two scenarios is that, and I think it's a little bit unlikely, but between now, it's almost 4 p.m. So in the next 4.5 hours time, if the euro dollar does drop, and the more I'm talking about it, the more it's bouncing back up. If it does drop to that level, then you could be looking for a buy to the upside like that again. But I think that it's going to consolidate here. Then you can look for that breakout. All right, I would even just say, 1.0940. Okay, there we go. So euro dollar, I'm buying 1.0940. Stop loss was a 15 pips. Take profit about 20, 30 pips. Okay, stop loss was about 15. PP about 30. Don't dare to trade until CPI. That's correct. That's a wise approach. I wouldn't say don't dare, but rather that there's no real directional push or no real price action to trade until the CPI. Angel K says, Angel K says, US Swiss franc, nothing much happening. I was selling. Yeah, so US Swiss franc, right? It's just consolidating around this range. It didn't trigger our sell, so I'll take that away for now. Can I ask? I'm very confused on online trading. In trading, you lost also money on this if the rating is down. Not sure about that, Carl. Not sure the question. Aussie cat looking very bearish, broke and closed. Okay, I'll look into that shortly. BL is going to take a nap. Okay, so US Swiss franc You guys probably know I was looking at this yesterday, and I was, saying that yeah, you could sell this down, but we're in historic lows right now. I would like to see this trade back up. So I think that we're likely to be trapped within this range, which is not a good trading range. It's not a tradable, not good trading range. So I would stay away from the US Swiss franc. Unfortunately for Angel Case, went in on the US Swiss franc, nothing much happening there, selling it. It might, I'm guessing it might be close to your stop loss already. Yeah, I think we might see some further upside potential on the US Swiss franc. Just technically, it looks like it needs to come back into this range. So yeah, I think it's going to come back into this range, bounce around with no clear directions. So if you have a trade running, maybe want to consider limiting limiting any losses on that. Okay, so I think US Swiss franc will probably be do nothing for now. Then the US CAD. Okay, remember the loonie, right? We saw this yesterday, traded down. It did exactly. Wait, today is Wednesday, so it did bounce up. It did come down, moving as we expected. The I think we were talking about this with someone where we're saying that there was a head and shoulder. So this actually played out quite nicely, right? You got your head and shoulder pattern there, head, shoulder pattern. It did break down from that neckline and trade down. Right now, bouncing back up slightly because of that dollar finding some support. I would say that with the news tonight, Bank of Canada interest rates decision, no change expected. No change expected. It's going to be heavily influenced by the dollar index. It looks like we could see a bounce again, right? So this, I would take this away for now. Right, we could see this come up, test 1.3490, and then trade down because of that dollar weakness. So this is going to possibly trade up. US news comes out. If it's dollar weakness, we'll see this push down. Then it's going to be compounded by the Bank of Canada with no interest rate changes. And then it's going to be influenced by the dollar index to push lower. All right. Yeah, I think that seems to be a likely scenario. So what you could be looking for here is a short at about 1.3480, stop loss 15 to 20 pips, take profit about 60. You could even do 20 pips here. It's right in the middle, but we do have an interim level. So you could see this test reject and then trade down towards the 1.3415 level. Okay, so looking to sell down 1.3480, stop loss 20, take profit 60. But watch out for the watch BOC. Okay, then we can sell at 1.3480, I think. 80, 20 to 60. 1.3480, stop loss 20, TP 60. Okay. Right, there we go. Now, I'm going to look at a couple of the ones that you guys were highlighting. So, Miko was asking, okay, we do gold first. We do gold. Gold working like a charm, right? Broke to the upside. Didn't get as high as 2033. Came to that 2020 level and then, retrace back down. So we were talking about this breaking towards 2023, went halfway. I think that with anticipating that dollar weakness, right? Anticipating that dollar weakness, we could see this trade up and hit 2033 again. Right now, retracing because we're seeing some dollar strength. Well, previously some dollar strength coming to play. So I am thinking that this could do this, trade down and then bounce back up again. Okay, I'm just going to give you the overall view here, just because, on gold, I actually did catch a little bit on gold, a bit of a scalp on gold late last night. Where was it? I can't remember. I think about there, quick scalp on gold, but then, looking at the broader move, possibly going to test that level again. So we've got a trend line there, come down, test the trend line, bounce up to 2033. So we're looking for gold to test trend line up to 23. Bow went onto silver, didn't hit. Okay. We'll do next is Euro Aussie. Yeah, that's right. We're looking at the Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie right at that resistance. The next high that we would have is very far away. Let's see. Next level would be up there, which it came already, which it hit. And this is a very strong level that we see. And then beyond that, significantly higher. Right? We could even see somewhere in the middle there. So how I would look at the Euro Aussie is that, remember, we're looking at the Euro dollar possibly gaining some strength, pushing up, but it is retracing slightly. The Aussie dollar, right? Show you the Aussie dollar was trading down, now pushing back up, so that's dragging the Euro Aussie down a little bit. Euro dollar looking like it's going to push up as well. So you're looking at the Euro Aussie, that's why we see this push down, right? Aussie dollar has been climbing and then it's pushing this down. I would say I don't like, or rather I don't want to suggest the idea of buying it up just because of how high it is, right? Just because of how high it is, but it looks like it's broken, it's going to come down, test this level and push up. So what I would say is that, especially with the potential weakness in the Aussie tomorrow with the employment numbers, we could be seeing this test and a push. To be extra safe, I would say you would only be looking to buy above 1.6440. Give it a lot more space. Take profit. You have 130 pip to the upside, but I would say that you wouldn't want to take on, this is not a set and forget level, because you're going to see a lot of a lot of choppy price action as it breaks into that super significant high levels. Yeah. This is the safest point. We're looking for it to break above the recent high before looking to get in. If you're a little bit more aggressive, you could be looking for it to bounce off before getting into a trade. So that'd be my view on the for BL. That'd be my view on the Euro Aussie, possibly trading down, but it does need to break above 1.6440 before looking to buy up. Quite a big stop loss at 50 for 130, 140 pip take profit. Okay. Now, For I am Miko on the US 30. The DJI is feels like a long time since I looked at this on the H4 time frame. So when I look at index, I look at it on a bigger time frame, trading higher. I do think we're going to see this, right? So we have the anticipation that we were looking at that dollar weakness, right? Dollar weakness has that inverse relationship with the index. So we could actually see this continue to push up from its current level of 33,741 and get up. I don't think you'll get there in a hurry, but it could get up to that 34. I think more conservatively 34,200 level. So 34,200 could be a point to get to on the US 30. Especially if we do see significant weakness on the dollar index. All right, I'm Miko. Then the NASDAQ 100. Where do I have it? No, I don't have the NAS 100. Why don't I have it? Where is it? Okay, it's not there. I'm not blind. Oh, not mass. NAS. Same. I have that there. Okay, US 100. You know, it's sitting right across. I would say that we have that high point there. We have a low point here, which coincides quite nicely. A significant high there. Looks like it's going to trade within this range. I do anticipate that it's going to see some upside, but it could likely trade within this range of 13,196. All right, gold maybe buy at 2006. Gold at 2006. Yeah, possibly. Right, 2004, 2006, 2008. So about there, between 2004 to 2008. So I hope I answered your question there. I'm Miko on your US 30 and NASDAQ 100. Let me just see if I missed anyone else. Moonki asked about Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD. Hey, I tell you what, Aussie CAD, you probably want to. That didn't happen. Just be extra careful on Aussie CAD just with the Canadian news tonight. But we could see this push up. A big counter trend trade. All right, how I look at the Aussie CAD here is the way price is moving. I would say that the potential would be as a counter trend trade if it does break above 0.8990, then you could be looking to buy up. Good 50 pip stop loss can be quite tight at about 15 to 20 to 25 pip, and you see a good upward move there on the Aussie CAD, anticipating that Canadian dollar weakness to push the Aussie CAD up. Okay, so hope I answered your question there. Moonki 83 looking very bearish, broke and closed below a daily support, which is also the 61.8 fib. Would you be a good entry to sell from the area of 8965? 8965. You could, but you see the thing about the Aussie CAD is if I went to the daily, the next level is at 8880, right? And we do have a big news coming out tonight. We might see, I'll tell you what we might see is that we might see some upward move, right? And then after that, turn down. So I wouldn't, if you were looking to sell the Aussie CAD, I would say look for it to test and reject this resistance level before selling, might give you a better trading opportunity there. OCK is another yo-yo. Not really a yo-yo. It's actually trading quite well. Just I would normally not have such a hesitation on Aussie CAD, just that we do have Canadian interest rates decision and then Aussie employment numbers due out tomorrow as well. Okay, hope I answered your question there, Moonki. And I missed out M leader saying, did we go through Euro Pound this morning? I want to sell, but seems like it's going higher today. So Euro Pound, we did not look at that. It is going higher. Why is it going higher? It's pound dollar is dropping, right? Pound dollar is dropping. Euro dollar is sitting right across. So as the pound dollar drops, that's going to push the Euro Pound up. So that didn't happen. Take that away. As this push up, again, it's right in the middle. Okay, so if I just took all the lines away and just say that, focus on this one here and this one down here with an interim level at about this point here. It's a little bit late if you wanted to get into a trade. I would say that you could be looking for, if it continues to go up, if it breaks above 0.88, continued pound weakness or the euro dollar strength pushing higher, then we could see this trade up. I wouldn't be looking to sell down, M leader, not at this point, not with the way price is moving. Okay. Have I missed out on anyone? Anyone feels left out? I hope not. All right, cool. With that said, please remember, we do have a lot of news to be released today. Vinesh asked about pound yen. So the pound yen didn't bounce off as we expected, but it did trade up to that level. So that wasn't a trade there. Take that away. At a very high point, I do anticipate why it's dropping now or why it's struggling to find a direction now is because of the pound dollar dropping, right? So if we do see this pound dollar drop and then bounce back up, then that's likely to push the pound yen up. Where can it get up to? Let me just see. Very high level. All right, there we go. Beyond this resistance, we would have, we have a big one there, 168.70. You could be considering about 167 as well. So, going to trace down, going to consolidate along this level. I would be looking to see that if it doesn't break below the very short-term upward trend line, right? There we go. We have it there like that. If it doesn't break below this level at about 165 or if it doesn't break below 166, then we could see this bounce up, possibly even to 167. All right, Vinesha, that's the pound yen. I'm looking to see whether it could do that. I seem to be drawing a lot of this pattern today, but it just seems like the way price is moving, leading to that analysis. Alrighty. So with that said, do remember the what is it? Trading View. For people on YouTube, the link is there, and for people on Trading View, you can check out the link. Well, I'll post up another one later, but you can check out the link there to join the free Discord channel server group. All right, and I'll see you there. If you want to take discussions on beyond this session, if you have further questions or any trade setups that you'd like to share, I like how you guys are asking the questions here and sharing your analysis here. You can also share it into the group. Absolutely free to join. We can take our discussions beyond this 1 hour through the day. I'm watching charts all the day. I'll share with you my thoughts and ideas as it happens. So Carlo joined in a little bit late, but we'll see you again tomorrow. So with that said, trade well, trade safe, catch you on Discord, and also tomorrow, 3 p.m., same time, same place. Take care now. Bye-bye.